Thank you, everybody, for coming out this morning and giving up some of your time on a Saturday. What Tim and I wanted to do is just sort of go over briefly, because there are still some clubs who are struggling with recording service activity, membership, and whatnot on MyLION. We're not going to touch too much on Portal, only because it's been delayed again, and I will talk about that as we near the end. So what we want to do is just sort of what we're going to do, even with new Portal. Things are changing, yet a lot of it's remaining the same. It's sort of cleaned it up a little bit. We're going to talk about entering service activities, reporting service activities, and then at the end, I will just update you a little bit on the portal. If you have a question as we're going through, I think it's ask it at the time rather than leave it to the end, and we'll try to answer it as best we can. But once again, thank you for being here. And Tim, let's get started.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I guess this morning we are going to focus on a few items. The line portal is coming up, so John will talk a little bit more towards the end of the session. But even with the new line portal, a lot of the basic elements are very similar to what you are seeing today with the MyLION, MyLCI, etc. So this morning we are going to focus on two items. One is both of them are under the MyLION provision now, which would be very similar in the future with the MyLION portal. So we are focusing on how to create a service report. So if your club is running any service activities, we highly encourage you to enter the service activities into the MyLION system so that LCI will capture it and every Lions will be able to look at it. And the second item is when you finish your service activities, we highly encourage you to report it. So if you don't report it, no one is going to know how good your club has done to your community. So the reporting part is as important as the creation of the service activities. So we will be focusing on that two area, how to create a service report and how to report a service report. And then at the end of this, John will come back to give you an update on where do we stand on the new line portal rollout. All right, so that would be the flow of it for today. And for me to show you how to create a service report and how to report a service report, I have to share my screen to show you how to log in to the system. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. Yes.
Tim, before we do that, sorry, is there anybody on the screen here who has never made an entry into MyLION before? Anyone who's new to it?
Me.
No.
Anyone who is in a position, anyone who's in the position of secretary for the first time? Okay, so Donna, you've never done it before?
No, you says anybody ever not done it, didn't you?
Anybody?
I do it. I do
Right.
it all the
No,
time.
anyone,
Like if you look at ours, it's 100%
okay.
up to date. I do it all the time.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I do
all right,
see.
Tim, sorry.
I
Go
do
ahead.
see two hands being raised. Tracy, line Tracy, and line Pat.
Yeah.
So you are new to
Yes.
the system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. Yeah, we always welcome the people who are new to this, and I hope after this session you will have a good idea on how to get into the system, how to create a service report, and how to report it. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to type it into the chat box. And I would like to ask Line John if you can help me to navigate on the chat box while I talk about the two areas. And
I
so
absolutely will.
just fill out any questions coming in. So feel free to type in your question first, and then at the end of the my presentation, and we can come back to talk about your other questions or any additional things that you may be interested to know. All right. So let me share my screen now here. And in case if you have any technical difficulties seeing the screen or anything, just voice out, and then we'll work it out accordingly. So I'm going to share my screen now. And which one I'm going to share? I am going to share this. Okay, I'm sharing the screen showing the A-16 website. Are you all able to see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Reason I want to start with the A-16 website is just to show you, if you haven't been to the A-16 website yet, we have the information updated there already. So you are seeing our district governor, Suitors over there, and our current international president, one from Canada, Lion Patty Hill. So to log into the Lion system, you have two ways to go to it. You can, in your bar here, you can type in the LCI website, or you can simply go into the A-16 website and then click on menu, and under menu, you will see the area showing you the external links. One of the external links here is the Lions Clubs International. So you click on this LCI. It will bring you to the LCI website. Or as I mentioned before, you can simply type in lionsclubs.org, and it will bring you to this page as well. And when you go into this page, you log, oh, okay, let me move this little window up a little bit. I think you are seeing a bar on the top of the screen. How do I get rid of it? I want to move it down. Okay, I move it to the bottom so that it won't block the view on the top. So when you go to the LCI website, and on the top you see the member login option here. So click member login. It will bring you to the screen for you to log in to the Lions account systems. Now, the assumption is that you have a Lion account ID set up already. If you don't, you have to register. So if you go down on this page, you see the option here, don't have an account, you have to register. So assuming you don't have an account now, so you click register, that will bring you to the screen to register your account. But before you can register to the system, you need some information on hand. If the registration process will ask you to put in your name. So for me, I put, it's the name that you register to the Lion system. So if, for me, I use Lion Tim Chung. Tim Chung would be my registered name to the system. So I type in Tim Chung. And you need to have your member ID. And I forgot my member ID, to be honest with you. I can't remember that 7-digit thing. So assuming you know your membership ID, if you don't, go to your club secretary to get it. You type in your membership ID, which is a 7-digit number. And then you click continue. Of course, I can't do that now because for number one, I have registered already. Number two, this ID is invalid. So assuming you type in this information correctly, you click continue. It will further ask you to provide your email address. And one thing you need to know is your date of birth. And the date of birth information has to match with whatever you provided to your club secretary putting into the Lion system. So those are the information that you need. This morning, I'm not going into the registration process, but if you don't have an ID, go through it. And if you have any question or any problem going through it, I will be happy to talk to you offline to work on your registration. All right. Now, assuming we have an ID already, so that is the premises for this morning session. So I will log in. So this morning, I'm going to log in with Lion Martin Jones ID because he has the higher authority to report surface activities. For me, if I use my own ID, if I use my email address and my password, when I log in, since I am a club treasurer this year, the system would provide me with a certain level of authority. So I can create service reports, but I cannot report service report. In a club, only a few lions are designated lions are provided with this authority for reporting. Your club president, your club secretary, and your club service administrator. These three lions will be provided the authorities to report service activities. Reason why LCI has to do that control is it would avoid the situation is that maybe multiple lions in the same club reporting on the same activities. So this would give you a little bit of a control per se. So remember that only the three lions with the three different roles would be granted the authority to report. Your club president, your club secretary, and your club service administrator, if you have one. But given that, every lions in your club can create service activities. All right. So as I said, I'm going to log in with Lion Martin's email ID. So let me use ID. It's M Jones 621. Okay, and then I have to type in the password. And you are not going to see my password here, which is good because you don't want to share your password with everybody. So you click sign in. So it will bring you to what we call the member portal. And you can see your name there if you are using your own ID. So since I'm using my Lion Martin's ID, so it says welcome Lion Martin. All right. So they call it member portal because you can use the same user ID and password to log into multiple applications, which is MyLION, my LCI, Insight, Learn, and Shop. I think I clicked in the shop button accidentally. I'm not going to buy anything this morning, so let's go back. Let's go back.
We wouldn't have to pay for it, so
Yeah, no. Oh, maybe we should buy something. It will be charged to Lion Martin's account. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, so let's go into MyLION. Okay, let's click on MyLION. And on this, when you go into MyLION, so again, it shows your club name. Martin belongs to Offshore Airport. And then you have a summary information telling you how many people you have served so far. These numbers are a cumulative number starting from the beginning of the year. I'm hearing some background noise. If you don't mind, please mute yourself. So these are the figures for the offshore airports starting from July 1st, 2023. Now, in order to submit a service activity, say if if my club is organizing an event, so I would like to create a service activities. So when you log in, so you can click on top of this, there are a number of options for you to look at: report, plan future activities,
Okay.
etc. So I will click on plan future activities. That will bring me to what kind of activities I'm planning. And in the system, it has 4 categories: whether I'm doing a service project, or I'm doing a fundraiser with my club, or it's just simply a meeting. It could be a club meeting. It could be my club members going to the district meeting, like a Zoom meeting, joint Zoom meeting, or even training today. You can record it. And if my club decided to make any donation, so I can report it as a donation. So this morning, I'm going to show you like how to create a service project. Say, I'm assuming I'm doing a project on the environmental services. So I click on service project, and then you have the continue button over here. So click continue. And it will ask you what kind of service project you are working on in support of which courses. LCI has 5 major global causes: hunger, environment, childhood cancer, diabetes, vision. If your service activities, if your specific project doesn't fall into any of these 5, it doesn't matter. You can click on other. So as I said, I am thinking of doing, my club is doing an environmental project. So I'm going to click on environment. Now, the good thing when you click on each of these button, if you look at the right-hand side of the screen, you see some description. So LCI, the system will provide you some additional information if they are available. So you can always come to look at this if you are not sure. So as I said, I'm going to create a service activities with environment. So I click on it. So as I said, you see some description on it. You may find some of this information useful. So when I pick on environment, so I click continue. And here, LCI has a list of typical projects related to environment. So again, if your project fall into any one of these, you just click on it. And sometimes you may find that, oh, I'm not sure whether my project would be falling under recycling or something else. But my suggestion is make the best educated guess that you try to match your service activities to any one of these. And the system always has a provision of like other. If you don't find any of these above matching what you are doing, then you can always click other. For this example, say I'm thinking I'm working on a e-waste collection, for example. So I click on e-waste and I click on continue. So it gives me a detailed plan, a menu here to put in additional information. One thing is, when I create these service activities, you can attach a picture to it. The system will provide you a default picture. And if you want it, you can keep it. If you don't, you can always edit it. So click on the edit current image. So you can select any image from your computer. Say if your club has a poster for the event, and maybe if you have a picture from your club, then you want to use it, by all means. So here I would click on select image. So it would it will ask you which picture you want to put in here. And I would like to use one of the pictures that I prepare for this. So I go to my computer, my directory. I opened my directory here and I click on the picture that I want. I want to put on this Canadian flag as my picture representing my project. And when you put it on, you can move it or crop it accordingly to the best, whatever image you want to show. Then you click on Save Image, and there you go. And then you have to fill in the details of your activities, like the club. Here, Martin's ID is a little bit more powerful. You can see all the clubs here. But I believe if I'm using my own ID, it would give me just Angus Glen. So it doesn't matter. So you click on the club name and the activity name. So this is a e-waste collection, just as an example. Now, is it a signature event? Signature event, that means this is a repetitive event or a multiple event your club will be hosting throughout the year or in multiple years. So you can click on this as your signature event. That will kind of like representing your club. So when people look at our e-waste collection, they would automatically associate it to Angus Glen. Actually, I'm taking the credit from Maple Lions Club. When I think of e-waste, I would think of the Maple Lions Club because they've been running the same event for many times. But if it's not a signature event, maybe this is a one-off event, so you just leave it. And it also asks you whether your project is funded by an LCIF grant. If it is, you click on it. If not, you just leave it there. And where are we hosting this e-waste collection? If you have put in previous information before, the system will be, or at least on my computer, it will be able to remember it. So I say, we are hosting this collection event at Markham Wesley Center. And you have to put in the address. Now, this is a tricky one. You have to put in the real address. You can't just say something like Esner Park or Esner Drive. So you have to put in the full address. And if you don't have it, Google it. Esner Park Drive. So it only accepts a valid address with postal code, etc. Okay, time zone, yeah, we are good. When do we start this event? Say, I'm starting it tomorrow, the 20th, from 8 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And if your project spans multiple days, you can always say, oh, it ends on the 31st, all right? And you have to add some description here. Now, if you don't add anything, you skip it, then I'm going to show you the result of not filling in all the forms. So assuming I miss out this activity description and I go down to privacy setting, who can see this? You have the option of choosing everyone can see it. Everyone, that means every Lions with a Lions ID, or just the people in my multiple district, which we belongs to multiple district A. Or maybe I just would like to have all the Lions in my district A-16 to see it, or just my club members, or only me. It's up to you to decide. In most of the cases, I would say that we would allow everyone to see it. And who can join? Is it a club meeting? Maybe if it is a club meeting, then it would be on an invite-only basis. If it is a service activities, probably you may want to have everybody seeing it, and if they're interested, they may come. All right, so after filling in all these boxes, then you would click continue. But you see that this continue button is not activated. When you see something like in blur, so that means the button is not activated. So that means I am missing something. So you have to go back to the screen. And if you look at all these entries that they asked me to put in, those with an asterisk are mandatory fields. You have to fill them out. If you miss one, then they won't activate the continue button for you to continue. So when you see this button is blur, that means you are missing something. So in this case, I am missing some description. So you have to type in something, a very brief description of your event. Then you see that after I fill out all the fields, this continue button is activated. So you can click continue. Now we come to the fourth part of the process, that you can invite people joining your event. The invite panel will give you a list of all the clubs in your district. So these are all the club names in your district. Say, if I want to invite everyone from my club, Angus Glen, so I click on it. Then you have all the members under Angus Glen appearing under the invite column. Okay. Or I can invite individuals. And here individuals meaning, say, if I want to invite the district officers to come to the event, so you can do so. So you can search the name. If you don't know, if you know the name, you can type it in. If you don't, you can search the name. So if you want to invite me, so you type my last name, but you may have a problem. You may have a problem because there are a lot of Chongs in the Alliance family. So it may not be an easy example for you, but let's try to invite our district governor. I type in her last name. Verma is a lot easier. So if I want to invite Alliance Suda to join, so I click on here. So her name will appear under the invite list. And if you want to invite other lions, you can do so through the similar process. And after you decide who you want to invite to your event, so you scroll down and then you have the continue button. Now I'm not going to click on this because once you click on this one, it says the invite are sent when clicking continue. Once you click on this continue, the system will send an email to everyone under the invite list, informing them about your event and inviting them to come to join you. So I don't know whether you have received any of this email before, and I did receive quite a number of this event when my club or other clubs are running service event. They would include me into their invite list. So you receive an email. Okay, so once you decided your invite list, then you can click continue. Or maybe for this particular example, you don't want to invite anybody. It's okay. You don't have to invite anybody. So you can go, if you don't put any name under your invite column here, you will see the skip button. So I will skip this process. And it comes to the final part, is the preview, number 5. So you see this is showing you the progress of creating your service report. So you go to the final portion now, is the preview. So you look at the record that you created. So I just created this e-waste collection from August 20th to the 31st at Markham Wellesley Center. And activity owner, this is under Martin Jones ID, so it appears with Martin Jones name on it. And I have put my picture on it. And you see the description. Here, if you find your description is not enough or not correct, or you have a typo, you can always edit it. And so you can always go back to edit any of the above information, or if you find the information you type in is okay, then you click submit. Then it gives you the confirmation saying that, oh, you are done. So your activity has been created. Okay, so it takes you back to the home page of the activities. Now, the activities that we just create won't appear on the screen under all your activities right away, because I have this experience, and LCI confirmed that the system will take a little while to refresh all the information that I just put in. So if you don't see that record appearing here, don't be alarmed. It may take a little while for them to refresh. Okay, so that is the part on creating a service activities. So maybe I can take a few questions now, if there's any.
I have a
you may want to-
question in the chat from Sarah. Sarah from
Yes.
Ajax asking how you can report a service activity without inviting attendees. I think we just kind of covered it, but that's what
No,
No, the
how can
reporting
you
will
report a
come.
service activity without inviting attendees?
there's the one question is, it is that question, but when you originally create the service activity, you do want to invite people. So you create it with like a future date and all the invitations, but you may not have reported it. So then you go back after the event, with updated details like how much you made or what your impact was. When you go to report it, I can't find a way to not invite people because they're already on the list as invited.
Yeah, so we can talk about it when we go through the reporting process.
Okay.
So hold on to that question. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other question on
Okay.
creating a service activity?
And then
report.
Maria was asking, have they made it easier to invite everyone when posting future events? There's not a lot of changes with respect to how things are done on the new portal. It's just they've streamlined and amalgamated a few things. But to the best of my knowledge, things are in this respect, and Tim, I stand corrected, but it's pretty much the same as it is now.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new portal, but I believe they are very similar. But in terms of inviting everyone, you are welcome to send out invites to everyone when you create a service activity. And then, as I said, once you send out the invite, all the individual will be getting an email from the system telling them your event and with all the detailed information that you put in about your event. So it's a good way to promote your activities. Say if you're running a fundraiser, for example, then you may want to invite clubs in your neighboring area to invite them to join your fundraising event. So this is a tool for you to consider to use. Of course, as I said, you don't have to use it every time. And sometimes for some service project, you may not want to invite anybody. So that's okay. So you can skip that process. All right. Okay, any other questions on creating the report or creating the activity? If not, then let's move on to reporting. Again, you go back to this home page. It will show you on top. Let me go to the home first. Okay. Yeah, you see this field button. You can click on home, report, past activities. We went through the plans, future activities. If you click on activities, it will show you all the activities under your club and others as well. So this is just all the service activities created under Oshawa Airport. So let's go back to home. Then you want to report a past activities. Okay. Now, I was hoping that the one that I create will appear here, but as I said, sometimes the system may take some time to refresh, so I don't see the test event coming up. But it doesn't matter. Say, if you have created a future event and then the time has come for you to fulfill that event already, you click on activities, which will bring you to all the activities under your club. And you click on report. Then you see that there are a list of unreported activities as recommended by the system. So what it is telling me is Oshawa Airport has created this Aurora Alliance business meeting, or no, this is from Aurora Alliance Club, because Lions Martin has the authority looking at all the activities across the district. So that's why you are seeing multiple club events. So, but again, if you are your club president, your club secretary, when you go into this page, you will see all the unreported activities under your club. And if that activities has expired meaning it passed the end date, the system will flag you by giving you this report button. So it's a reminder saying, hey, you have an event on August the 15th, and today is August the 19th. So assuming the event has been finished and you are ready to report it. So you have the report button. For the others, I believe these are events in the future, hasn't been finished yet. So you don't see any reporting button there. So you have two ways to report it. You can just click on this. Of course, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to mess up the system. Or if you go up on top of your screen, there's a report button here. So you can say, I want to report a past activities. Now, clicking on this button would require you to fill out the details of your activities again. If I go back to the previous screen, if I click on this, it will retain most of the information that I have typed in previously. And it will ask me for additional information. So you see on this bar here, we have the details, share, and preview. So it's asking me to put in some additional information to share with everybody. So I don't have to really start from the beginning. But as I said, I'm not going to mess up the system here. I'm not reporting these activities. I am going back to report past activities. Okay, so I am going to report like a brand new one, which I haven't created in the system yet. So I click on that report button. It takes me to this activity form. So I have to fill in some information about my activity now. So if I just, maybe I have something captured here. So I'll just create this project, for example, and I report it under my club. And the club here is Oshawa Airport. Creator is Martin Jones. It's under Martin's ID. And what is the duration of my activities? Is a single day or multiple day? Single day, then that means your event start and finish on the same day, right? Simply said. For multiple day, that means your project may be a month long or maybe 6 months duration whatsoever. So let's assume this is a multi-day project. So it gives you a calendar. And of course, this is reporting. So it would allow you to put in any date before today, right? Because you are reporting something happened already. So So that's why you see everything after 19 is blurred. You cannot click on any one of these. They are disabled. Assuming that this is starting from August 1, right? And it finished by today. What is the type of activities? So you have to put in whether it's a service project or fundraiser or meeting or donation. These are the 4 categories, if you remember seeing when you started creating a service activity. So I'm putting this as a service project. Is it a signature? Again, is it a signature event or is it a event funded by LCIF grant? You click on these buttons accordingly. So what's the project for? Is this in support to hunger, environment? Again, the 5 global causes. And if not, I can click on other. What is the type of project? Now, LCI would like to capture or categorize some of these service reports so that when they make reports or statistics, then they know how to categorize them. So again, I would suggest that you would take your best educated guess to fit in your service project into one of these. And if nothing fit in, then you can always click on other service activity. Okay. For this case, it's a senior program. We are providing assistance to individuals, but not an individual. So this is not this particular category. So I would have to pick other. Now, here is the numbers that you want to put in. I think it may address Line Sarah, your question on reporting. It doesn't have a category to report on how many people you invited or how many people you invited would come to your event. It doesn't have that specific category, but it does ask you to record the number of people participated in your event. So the people served, or how many volunteers do you have, and how many volunteer hours that you spend on the whole project. So assuming this project, we touch upon 50 people. So you type in people served. Now against these figures, sometimes people may find it difficult on how to put in the exact figures. Yeah. I would again suggest you take your best educated guess. Nobody is going to come back to audit you, say, oh, your project have only 50 people coming, and you put down 40 or you put 60, right? It doesn't matter, because in the long run, and if you look at if all the clubs across the world reporting their service activities, things like that will be even out or average out. I am hearing some echo here. Okay, it's better now. Yeah. Again, so you put in the people served based on your best educated guess. If you don't have the actual figures. And again, same thing for the total number of volunteers. Say if this project I have 10 Lions from my clubs involving, and I have 5 volunteers who are not Lions joining in, then I would put 15, not 10. So remember, when you report this, you should include all the volunteers from outside of your club, even for non-Lions. Okay. It did ask you, did participant include non-Lion family members? Then you say yes. In this case, I say yes. And of course, if your project only involve Lions from your club, say I have 7 Lions in my club joining or helping out, nobody else outside of your clubs, then you put in 7 and you click no. Or just in case for some of this situation that you don't know, then you just say don't know, right? As I said, all this will become some statistics used by LCI from a global perspective. So don't worry about the exact number. So should I put 7 or 8? Or I'm not sure. Maybe I had 10 or whatever. Put in the best information that you know. As I said, all these would average out at a high level. The same thing is, say, for this example, I say 15. I have 10 lions and 5 non-lions. So I say, okay, I have 15 volunteers. And how much time did we spend on this? Now, the time spent, I would suggest there are 2 parts of the time spent. One is on planning of your event. The other part is on the execution of your event. Say if you have a 1-day event, which runs for 3 hours at the Lions Hall, so it would be easy. If I have 15 people there for 3 hours, then you just put in 15 times 3, so you have 45 hours. But don't forget the time that you spent on planning. Say you may have 5 meetings before. Each meeting will last for about 2 hours. And with all the 15 members attending, volunteers attending, so you add in all those time. Again, don't worry about the exact math. Nobody is going to come in to look at your figures and challenge you on it should be 15, not 10 or not 20. No, just again, give your best estimate or the best knowledge that you have about that. So assuming this project, I have, I don't know, maybe 60 hours that we're spending, including execution and planning. So I just put in the number. Additional metrics, let's see what they are. If I click yes, it will give you additional fields to fill in. If it is something related to donation, so how much money you donate, you give it in. Again, put in the best information that you have. Don't block down by it should be 150 or 145. No, don't worry about those. Is it a donation to LCIF? If it is, click on it. If you're making a donation, maybe I put $100. What organization you are donating this money to? LCIF. If these activities are related to some fundraising elements of it, how much money you raise. Again, put in the best information that you have, $700. Again, now these figures are in US, but you have the option of reporting it in Canadian currency, I believe. Yeah. You can change it to Canadian. All right, and the system will do the conversion for you automatically. If I donate $100 Canadian, well, it says it's about $73 US. Okay, so if you don't change it, then it will assume that your amount that you put in is in US. So just a minor point here. Again, if my service project is just a service project and it doesn't involve any money, any donation, or any fundraising, then you don't have to click on this. So you just leave them blank. Okay. So who can see my reported activities? You have the option of choosing everyone, multiple district lions in multiple district A, or
Right.
in my district only, or in my club only. Normally, I would say we go for everyone. And again, you have to type in the description of it. Now, the same system control is in place. If I miss out any mandatory fields that they want me to fill out, they won't activate the report button. So this is blurred. Now, for club secretary or president, if you find that you do not have all the information on hand reporting it, you can fill out as much as you know, and then you can save as a draft. Then you can retrieve it later on to add in the additional information. And if you have all the information with you now, then you fill in all this field. This is again a test event. Then you should see the report button activated, but looks like it's not yet. So I may have missed out something. Let me see. So you have to go back to all the fields that has the asterisk there, saying that those are mandatory. Okay. Looks like I'm good. What happened? Oh, I didn't fill in the service project, right? So that's why the system, okay, I have service project. Course, other 50. Volunteer hours, 60. Additional metrics. Who can see this? Everyone. Description. I should be able to report it. Let me try. Yeah. Okay. So it says successfully submitted. So I successfully submitted my report. Now, when you submit a report, if you find the information that is not correct, then you can always go in and delete it, and which I'm going to do after this session. So don't worry about my test activities messing up the system. So that is one way of reporting it. As I said, if you have created the activity report, you click on the report button here, then you save some typing, because the previous information that you put in about your service activities, like service type, description, etc., would appear in your reporting process. So you don't have to retype those information in the system again. So all you need to do, if you click on reporting a record that you have created before, you only need to put in those information that you need to share, like a number of volunteers, number of volunteer hours, and etc. So I hope that would give you an idea on the flow of it. So that's all about reporting. Any question?
And Tim, I have a few things in the chat here. First of all, Pastor Sir Governor Barry has indicated the global service team can provide assistance to Lions or clubs with creating or developing service activities or events.
Oh, good. So if you
and
have
Lions Charlotte, I was yes.
You know who to go to.
Martin
go to
Jones is
Barry.
the new.
Yeah. Okay.
Lions Charlotte, I was unaware that we can report our meetings. Does this include meetings twice a month? Yes. Lion Laura, will you cover how to put in activity, volunteer hours, etc., plus donations made? Laura, are you okay? I think Tim covered that. Are you okay with that, or anything further? Lion Laura? Lion Sarah, when guessing the amount of people served, is it directly served, or how many people will benefit from the fundraiser over time?
Well, that's a good, very
Also,
good question. John, maybe I can chip in on that a little bit. On the number of people served, there are always two aspects of looking at that. One is the people you directly involve at the event, then you can record it as the number of people served. But there are other events, like if I'm collecting eyeglasses, for example, and I send it over to the eyeglass recycling center. How do I know how many people are being served? Or if I'm collecting money and then donate it to the local food bank, say if I donate $1,000 to the local food bank, how do I know how many people would be served with that $1,000? So again, I would suggest use some estimate. For eyeglass collection, I was given the idea that for every pair of eyeglass that we collect, we just assume that we serve one person. Now, for money donated to food bank, maybe you can talk to the food bank. So on average, how much money would cost for a bag of food to be delivered to an individual or to a family of 4? So get some estimate. Say if they tell you that it would cost them like $50 to get a bag of food for a family of 4, then you donated $1,000. So you just divide up the 1,000 with 50. And then you are serving that number of family. And for number of family of 4, then you multiply it with 4. Then you come up to the number of total people that you served. So again, there's no scientific figure, no accurate actual figure or formula for you to follow, but just use some guesstimate or get some information from the organization that you are working with to help you to come up with the best educated guesstimate. John?
She's also asking if doing a fundraiser barbecue is the people who attend and purchase, or sorry, also if doing a fundraiser barbecue, is it people who attend and purchase at the barbecue or the people who benefit from the funds raised?
Now for fundraising, my suggestion would be if you're doing a fundraising, then you would record the number of people served by the number of people attending. And if you decided to use the fund to donate to a service organization or to multiple service organizations, then you determine the number of people served through that amount of money that you donate or your club donate.
So I'm back
And
to
then
my
Sarah,
question.
oh, sorry.
Well, sorry, I wasn't able to unmute my mic fast enough for you, but back to my question about when you do an activity like a service project and you earn money on that, and then you want to do the donation. So it's a 2-part entry really into under one service project. How do you, like we get bingo funds and then we donate that money. And if we donate that money, if like say we got $3,000 bingo funds and we're doing 1,000 to the food bank, 1,000 to, pediatric cancer and 1,000 to somewhere else, can we report all that under one activity?
I would suggest that you may consider reporting as 4 different events based on your example. One is your fundraising. Now, I would suggest unless when you organize a fundraising, unless you have identified a beneficiary for that fundraising, then you can report them both. And if you don't, if you're running a bingo event, then you just collect the money first, and you don't know who you are going to donate the money to, and your club may decide how to use that money at a later time. So you report that activities for your bingo fundraising event first. And then say if you collect the $3,000 through that bingo night, for example, and eventually your club decided to donate $1,000 to organization A and another 1,000 to B and then the third 1,000 to C, then you have 3 donations that your club made. Then you would record it as 3 service report for under donation to the 3 different organizations. So I would suggest doing it that way, because otherwise then it would be very difficult for your club to report the actual money flow per se.
That's very inefficient.
Well, in a way, you may say so, but again, unless when you do your fundraising event that you have your beneficiary organization identified, then you can report it at the same time. Say if you don't, say in your example, say if you have a bingo night, then you don't know how to use your money, then how would you report it as a donation? There won't be any donation, right, on that. So
we get a bingo payment every month, and then when we have meetings, we decide how we're going to spend that. So in 1 month, we could get a payment from bingo, get the money, and then in the same month, we can disperse that money because we're not supposed to hang on to it for too long. So
right.
it is happening in the same month. So if I did bingo, July 2023, then I would have all that information at one time from our treasurer's report.
If that's the case, then I would suggest you can do it in one single reporting, because when you receive the money, if you already know how to spend those money, then you can just report it as one single activity report. My suggestion was, if you don't know how to spend the money at the time when you organize or when you hold a fundraising event, then you would have to separate those as separate reports.
But I do know how we're like in 1 month.
If you do know, then if you do know who you are donating the money to, then you can report it right away as one.
And I can report them, even if it's 3 different places the money's going to. I can report that, like that, 1,000 here, 3 times 1,000 to 3 different causes.
That I'm not sure. That I don't know. That I don't know. I'm not sure whether you can report for multiple donation. I don't know that part.
I believe you can't. I believe you can, Tim. I believe you can.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I never done that before.
3 separate organizations that are the benefactors.
Yeah. Let's do it this way. Let me do some research, and I'll come back to you, Laura. Okay.
That would be good, because that's something that it just in this day and age, I should be able to use. The system should be able to do it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
I think in the description as well, you can also put in that the donation is going to ABC.
Oh yeah.
Description. Yeah.
But that doesn't count
Yes.
if we're doing it towards hunger, pediatric cancer. If they're the pillars, that won't capture all that information.
Capture it. Yeah, that's where you have to do them individually. Yeah.
Forget that.
So as I said, let's take this question offline, and then we do some research, and we'll get back to Laura.
Sure.
And if anyone is interested, we can share those information as well. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions on reporting?
Lion Charlotte, I see now I may have missed an opportunity to report some activities for the previous month. Am I able to go back and report in July?
Yes, you can. You can report. You can report. Say if you have an event in July and you didn't report it in the month of July, then no problem. You can report it this month or later on in September or October. Yeah. As long as
give you an example,
you report in the same Lions year.
Yeah, exactly. Because the July the 1st is the cutoff date at the end of every line here to have it, so they go in and they catch up. So yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
All right. There was a question from Sarah again in Ajax. This is where my question comes in. Who can see this report? The system sends an email, no choice for none. And I assume she's talking about when you've made a report, who you want to be able to see the report. Am I correct in that, Sarah?
Yes, exactly. We were back at that section a while back, and
right.
We were reporting on a service project that was already there. But when you're working your way down through them, there was like, who can see this? There was no choice for none. So if you even if you take the smallest group, like just my club, they're still going to get another email. It confuses them all the time when I do it. So I wish there was a way to report it and not send out anything except have the information captured by LCI.
Well, Sarah, my understanding is when you report a service activities, the system won't send out any email to anybody. Even when you click who can see the report, there's a column for you to click on who can see the report.
Yeah.
You can choose the few options are everyone, lions in your multiple district, lions in your district, lions in your club. So when you click, even when you click the lions in your club as an example,
They do get
then
something, I think.
I haven't received any report that way myself. So I'm assuming the system won't send out email in that process.
I'll
So
try it sometime on one that isn't important. You know what I mean? And just tick off my club and see.
I know, but as far as who can see, like if you report and you click on everyone, that means everyone will be able to see your reported event. So when you do that, so when I log into the system using my ID under my club Angus Glen,
Yeah.
I have the option of choosing to see what activities are happening in my club and in my district and in the other clubs in my district. So when I go into that and I click on Ajax Lions Club, I will be able to see your reported event that way.
Okay.
And I won't receive an email informing me that, oh, Ajax Lions Club just reported a certain activity.
I might not be
So-
describing the scenario properly, so I'll wait
Uh-huh.
until it happens again, and then I'll make a note of it, like
Okay.
exactly what the steps were and why it happened, because I don't think I'm
Okay.
explaining it properly. But I get what you're saying about the reporting. It's
Yeah.
really just wanting everyone to see, or a select group to see, you know, what the result of your project was.
Okay. Yep. So maybe if we can always carry on that discussion separately and share some experience
Yeah.
among ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, John?
I just have one more. Will there be a meeting to review the new Lions portal? Like when it comes out live? Do we know when it's coming out live?
Line John, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I'll might as well cover it now. It was supposed to be September the 1st,
Right?
and each club was going to receive an email telling them what date they could go online. Because if you
Yeah.
recall, the end of June, the system crashed.
Yeah.
So that was the original intent, and I got told the other day that it's now looks like it may have been pushed to the 24th of September. The
Okay.
problem is LCI is having such a difficulty because don't forget they have to translate the new portal into like 140 different languages.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my understanding is that's what's sort of slowing down the process. But
Right.
now I'm told it's the 24th of September. That's the latest date that I have as of yesterday.
Okay. But everything keeps working the same as it did using the
But
old.
and that's it. Absolutely. There might be a few things that you might not be able to access, but if you go in and Google MyLION, sometimes it'll just pop up on the Google screen what you're looking for, and you can get it that way sometimes. It just depends on where they're at on that day of working on the system. But for now, it's business as usual. And to be honest with you, it's really just streamlining the system. So there's not a whole lot of changes. It's just the way in which it's
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
That's all.
Any
Which makes it a
other
little
questions?
easier.
Yeah. I know we promised Michelin to finish by 11, and we are taking 10 minutes of your time now. I know.
Yeah.
So any other questions? If not, then Line John, why don't you close out the session then? Back to you.
All right, thanks, Line Tim. I was going to try to play you a video, but I'm having difficulty bringing it up. But if you go up into Google or go to log in to MyLION and go to the Lions portal, you'll see at the bottom, there's 3 videos: club officer view, regional officer view, and member view. If you get some time, have a look at them. You'll find them, they're only about 6 or 7 minutes each. But club officer is probably the one that's more relates to your particular positions. But have a look at it and find it very useful. As I just indicated, I watched the videos at the International Convention in Boston, and as I just said, they were supposed to start September the 1st, but you will, when it's ready to go, you will receive an email telling you what date your club can go online. But as of yesterday, I was told September 24th is now going to be the new launch date. However, we'll see how it goes. We really just wanted us here in the district. Hopefully, those of you who have never experienced using MyLION, hopefully we were able to answer some of your questions today. Martin Jones, the second vice district governor, is now the go-to guy in our district for helping out with MyLION. I can tell you over the last year, most of my questions or most of the help that I gave was around not only service activities, but reporting club membership and new club members. There are still some clubs that just choose not to use it. And that's just the way it goes. But we just want you to be ready to go. And particularly those of you who are new secretaries or new positions to be able to assume the roles and get up and get it running. So that's really all I could tell you about the new portal. I'm hoping, we haven't had discussions, but I'm hoping, yes, as part of the process, that we will be able to have some sort of a session to go over the new portal and how it's going to work. But you will find that there are not really a whole lot of differences. They've just amalgamated a few things, made it a little easier to find things, because on the new system, you've got to go through so many loops sort of thing to find what you're looking for. Well, now it's going to be sort of more centralized, and you'll be able to find what you're looking for a lot easier. So I hope that answers some of your questions. When it's going, and from the videos that I've watched and the training I've had, it really is going to be beneficial to us as an organization and to clubs. So that's really, that's about all I have, Tim.
That's great.
Okay, one last comment is now the demonstration that we've done for creating an event, reporting an event, is under the assumption that you have your LION account ID with you. And that's important. If you don't have one, by all means, go to register one right away, because you have a lot of other information that you can access to in addition to just reporting event, because you can go to the Learning Center to take online courses, and you can go to the LION store to buy whatever items that you would like. And also you can go to MyLCI to look at your membership, your club membership information. So that account ID would be very important. And my understanding is when we move on to this LION portal in the future, you will be using the same user ID and password to log into the system. So you don't have to worry about losing that, but it's important for you to get one. And again, if you have questions on how to register, or you experience difficulties in registering, I guess there are a number of people who can help out. Second Vice District Governor Martin Jones has all the authority to access to the system. You can email to me, then I can certainly provide any additional information that you may have to. Just reach out. And as I said, it's important for you to register an ID if you don't have one. And if you have one, go into the system, tour around and click on the different buttons, then you see, find out whatever is interesting to you. And I would highly encourage everyone to go into the Learning Center, because it's never too much to learn. There's a lot of things that we can learn. Okay, so that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Bye.
Really quickly before we go, Sarah's asking if the district chairpersons are updated on the district website. Micheline, are you aware of that?
I'll ask Rick, give me just a second.
Has it been completed? Okay. Just find out for sure.
Rick says to his knowledge, yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, there you
Thank
go.
you, Tish.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I hope we helped you out as best we can. We're always available to answer the questions, and so feel free to call and ask, and we don't have the answer, we will get it for you. So thank you for your
Yep.
time.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yep,
Yeah.
have a great day.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.